And welcome on in to a week 4 in the NFL right here, wagerweekly.com. Paul Nolan, Damon Roberts with you, digging into your Sunday card. We head across the pond, of course, to England for your first game of the season, and that's going to be Atlanta and Jacksonville in London. Jacksonville opened 343.5 here, and is still pretty much solid 3. I'm looking at Circa specifically, 43.5 here. Falcons will play their first outdoor game of the season, and again, it comes in London. Atlanta beat the Jets in London 2 years ago, Paul Nolan, so they're a little familiar with this trip. And I know you like this game. You've been looking at this early game, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time start here on the East Coast. What do you see in this game?
Yeah, Circa's got this at 125 on the money line. Jacksonville at 125. I'm sorry. It opened there. I'm sorry. It's up to one. Forgive me. It's up to 150 now at Circa. I just updated my screen. I did see it early in the week at 125. I like Jacksonville in this game laying 3. Plus, it's a soft 3 even money at Circa. So you can buy that to 2.5, lay 120, 125. I like Jacksonville in the spot. Obviously, they're the home team. The crowd will be roaring for them. There's weekly shows, Jacksonville shows. They move their games and they highlight them, on prime time there. And there's so much hype on this Jacksonville team, but Trevor Lawrence, there's celebrities over there, and they're going to feel it. Then they get to stay there for 2 weeks in a row, and then they face the Bills next week in Tottenham. So they get to be the away team next week. So essentially they get these 2 home games back-to-back in London, where I wouldn't be surprised one day is where they end up being, or at least for half the season. So I like this because Jacksonville's a team that, 2 weeks ago against the Kansas City Chiefs, they outgained them. And when you look at the EPAs, you look at the mathematical numbers, not that they matter, but they do matter. I used to call it, before it was all mathematically driven, I would call it misleading wins, misleading losses. And I would go through the games and I would watch it. I would say, okay, this tip ball should not have been caught, but it was on a miraculous play. Or it was a great defensive play that didn't get rewarded. Or it was a weird tip that gets intercepted, run back for 6, and it's a misleading score. The Jaguars faced 2 of those games in a row, really, where they were completely unlucky in terms of yardage. They outgained last week, Houston team that we had on the pod. I had it in my circuit tournament. Really never in doubt because they played tooth and nail. They did not win by what the score was indicating. Game was closer than that. I believe that the Jaguars had 7 more first downs than them. They had a little more time possession. They had, I think, 40 more yards overall. So I think Jaguars are getting a good value here, and against the Atlanta team that lives and dies with the run only. Ritter is not an NFL quarterback. I don't think he's ever going to be anything. He's got a lot of moxie. He's got a winner's mentality. He'll do what he can, but I don't think his career will be all that long. It's a matter of time, and I think that Trevor Lawrence is about to, get. I think they're going to unleash what this offense really should be at essentially home, where they stop the run. Jacksonville defense stops the run, and that's really what Atlanta lives on. So I'm very confident in Jacksonville in this game, especially if you get it under the hook, especially if you're willing to take it on the money line.
All right, there you go. 251, 252. Again, 9:30 a.m. Eastern start here on the East Coast. Atlanta and Jacksonville across the pond in London. Paul Nolan really likes Jacksonville. See if you can get that hook. But like you said, right now you can get -3, 105 at Circa. Actually, you can get -3 plus 100 at Circa right now. So you can get, like you said, -3 even money on that soft 3 line, as Paul Nolan points out. So there you go, 251, 252. And again, make sure you visit us on Sunday, where we will be breaking down all videos will be available right here, wagerweekly.com, for your week 4 in the NFL.